Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. And we're starting here with an interesting rumor regarding PlayStation 5 Pro as well as PSSR 2. This is being reported by WCCF Tech. They say the next version of the PlayStation 5 Pro AI-powered PSSR upscaler will come with some significant improvements according to rumors circulating online. In a new video shared on YouTube, Moore's Law is Dead, who previously provided correct information regarding the PlayStation 5 Pro and the PSSR upscaler before the official announcement, revealed that Sony is training a new lightweight neural network requiring less frame time to upscale that will offer higher image quality, no matter the base resolution a game is upscaled from. Currently, PSSR requires a base resolution of 864p, which is pretty high compared to the ultra-performance NVIDIA DLSS option, for example, but the next iteration of the upscaler should be able to deliver better image quality upscaling from lower base resolutions. According to the leaker, one of the main reasons Sony is working on this new version of the PlayStation 5 Pro upscaler, which may not even be marked as PSSR 2, is because they want to get better at running 4K resolution at 120 FPS and offer 8K resolution output at 60 FPS. While some games offer 4K resolution at 120 FPS with the current version of PSSR, the new version of the upscaler will make it so that games that currently can't push past the 70-80 FPS range can offer better performance besides the improved image quality, which will see improvements in line with the leap in quality from AMD FSR 2.0 to 3.1. Additionally, the new version of the upscaler will offer wider resolution offerings, supporting 1440p and 1080p resolutions at locked 120 FPS, which the current version of the upscaler doesn't, as it only used to offer 4K resolution output. Better image quality is reportedly also coming to PlayStation 5 Pro games that don't use PSSR to upscale with MFSR, which was the internal acronym for the upscaler. MFSR will be an alternate option to TAA to offer better image quality. So I don't think any of this information is necessarily surprising because we did have Mark Cerny basically tell us that they're working on PSSR version 2 and it will be out sometime in 2026. But it's interesting to get some of the more specific details on what we can expect when PSSR 2 is officially ready to drop on the PS5 Pro. And yeah, this is one of the reasons why I like the PS5 Pro, because it's different from any previous version of a PlayStation console where you can expect performance to actually improve over time, right? You can expect image quality to improve, and I feel like that's something we've never really seen before in the console space. So it'll be very interesting to see the end result. We're going to move to the next topic, which talks about another leak and how Sony might be getting ready to revive a beloved PS3 series. This is being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle. Speculations are making rounds that Sony is reviving a PS3 game series with a new entry on PS5. An ex-dev employee was seen advertising new jobs for Stellar Entertainment, a studio Sony partnered with on Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, and who is currently making a AAA arcade racing game in Unreal Engine 5. Stellar Entertainment is mostly a support studio with remasters in its portfolio, including Need for Speed and Burnout Paradise. What's more is that the studio was founded by developers from Criterion Games, known for Burnout and Need for Speed. There are two possibilities here. Sony is reviving one of its racing IPs, or it's making a new IP. Fans are convinced it's the former, and it's MotorStorm that's actually being revived. There are several reasons why fans think MotorStorm is making a return. For starters, there have been rumblings over the year that Sony wants to bring back the IP, but we should note that those rumors didn't seem convincing, at least not at the time. Secondly, given Stellar Entertainment's current and past work, MotorStorm seems more in line with its expertise. The other possibility is Twisted Metal. However, Sony recently canceled a live service Twisted Metal title. So this is, I would say, a more interesting leak that has come out that indicates there is another, I guess you could say, secret PlayStation 5 project in the works. It's difficult to say how far along in development it is. I think it would be safe to say it's earlier on in development. But yeah, it's going to be a AAA arcade racing game in UE5, and it involves Sony X devs, so you know it's going to be Sony published. I mean, the idea of MotorStorm coming back, I think, is actually pretty cool. I think a lot of people would be on board with that. I'm more inclined to think it's something like MotorStorm than Twisted Metal, although it is worth noting that the Twisted Metal TV series did get renewed for a second season. It's coming out, I believe, in July, and we know that one of the things Sony wanted to line up was having this Twisted Metal live service game ready to go to coincide with the TV series, but it just didn't come together. So maybe they didn't actually give up on it yet, and they wanted to give it to a different studio and let them make it. But yeah, we have heard in the past that apparently Sony was interested in possibly reviving MotorStorm. So I'll leave it to you guys. All we really can take away from this is that there is a arcade racing game in development at PlayStation Studios, or a developer that's partnered with PlayStation Studios. So let me know what you think it might be. We're moving on to the next topic, which is actually, I would say, some bad news for Doom: The Dark Ages on PS5. There's an original story here being reported by Push Square. They say Doom: The Dark Ages, the upcoming medieval shooter from maker id Software, may be the latest Bethesda outing to enforce a download on its boxed copies. You may recall Indiana Jones and the Great Circle's physical edition also required a significant download with just 20 gigabytes of data included on the disc. Well, early copies of the new Doom game include a internet-required disclaimer on the box, and while there's conflicting information at the moment, some are stating that the title simply won't boot without the download. The situation is different to a day one patch, by the way. Typically, Blu-rays include a fully playable version of the game, so you can at least insert it into your PS5 and play it without ever connecting to the internet. In this instance, only a small portion of the game's data has been burned onto the disc, with the rest requiring a download. So we actually have an update to the story from Push Square, and they say here, as was the case with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle earlier in the year, Microsoft and Bethesda have shortchanged PS5 fans yet again by shipping physical copies of Doom: The Dark Ages with virtually nothing on the disc. Confirmation comes courtesy of Does It Play, who were contacted by a supporter with screenshots of the upcoming first-person shooter. Insultingly, just 85 megabytes of data is included on the Blu-ray, with fans forced to download the rest of the game. Needless to say, you cannot play the title at all without a hefty download. Now, to make matters worse when it comes to Doom: The Dark Ages, apparently it has really disappointing PS5 Pro performance / upgrades, again being reported by Push Square. They say the tech experts at Digital Foundry have shared their initial findings for Doom: The Dark Ages, and it's pretty disappointing for PS5 players, especially those with the more expensive PS5 Pro. Both of Sony's consoles suffer from frame rate dips, slumping below the target 60 FPS during busy sequences. To make matters worse, the Xbox Series X looks largely locked, so it's perhaps a sign less care and attention has been invested into the PlayStation builds. While the PS5 Pro does top out at higher resolutions, hitting pixel counts as high as 1800p, it sees few other improvements compared to its base console counterpart. There's not even any use of PSSR to upscale the image. Digital Foundry describes this as one of the less exciting PS5 Pro updates we've seen in recent AAA games, and it's hard to argue with the findings. It strikes us that developer id Software has put all of its time and energy into the Xbox Series X version, with all the other console editions turning in competent but unremarkable results. So yeah, it seems like there's some not so great news coming out for Doom: The Dark Ages, specifically when it comes to PlayStation. It is very disappointing to see that they're not really taking real advantage of the PS5 Pro, and even seeing results where apparently in some instances it actually does run better on the Series X. I feel like when you consider that some of Microsoft's other studios have definitely went above and beyond to take full advantage of the Pro, you would expect the same here from id Software. It's not to say that it looks bad or runs poorly, that's not the case, but when the PS5 Pro is significantly more capable than even something like the Series X and the base PS5, you certainly would expect more. But, even looking at what they're doing here with the physical version of the game, I've seen quite a few people saying that they're no longer going to purchase it now because they are not happy with the way Microsoft is handling physical games that they're bringing over for PS5. So yeah, I just figured I would cover this for you guys and let you know what's going on if you are somebody who is planning on buying the physical version of Doom the Dark Ages or planning on playing it on the PS5 Pro. But that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.